4, 3, 2, 1. This is the Aaron J. Show, aka the Aaron J. Podcast. Today is Tuesday, September 10th, 2019. We're going to start off into it with sports. So, a lot of stuff happened in the NFL yesterday. A lot of teams won. A lot of teams lost. Patriots didn't lose, though. One team that actually tied was, of course, the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions were leading. They went against the Cardinals yesterday, I want to say. Was it the Cardinals? It was the Cardinals. They went against the Cardinals yesterday, their opening game, the Cardinals' opening game, and it ended in a damn tie. This is how the score broke down. First quarter, nobody scored. Second, Detroit scores 17 points to Arizona's 3. Third, Arizona scores 3 to the Lions 0. And in the fourth quarter, the Lions score 7 to go up 27-3. They went up 27-6, at that point. And then the Cardinals just won a tear, scoring 18 unanswered points and forcing overtime. In the overtime, they both scored 3-3, and it ended in the tie. The Lions were, when you hear that score said out loud, it sounds like, okay, this is a typical football game. At one point, the Lions were up, I want to say 27-3, 27-6, for the majority of the game to like easily the third minute of the fourth, and the Cardinals just went off. The Cardinals, who have a rookie quarterback, and the Lions, who have a fresh Super Bowl winning wide receiver in Amendola, and a alleged quarterback in Matthew Stafford. I say alleged because you guys call him a quarterback. I do not. I refuse to call him that. I think it's an insult to actual quarterbacks out there to call that bum a quarterback. But I'm not surprised. They should have. To me, this is a loss because the Lions, like I said, they were winning for the whole goddamn game. And in typical S.O.L, a.k.a. same old Lions fashion, they find a way to lose. Where most teams find a way to win. Like the Patriots in the Super Bowl a couple years ago when they were down, 28-3 for better half of the damn game. It came back, forced the overtime, and won it. Teams like that, the higher echelon teams, the real teams, they find a way to win. The Cardinals found a way to damn near win. Outside, they really had a really good chance of winning the overtime, and I really wish they would have. Just the Lions. I just don't know what to say at this point about that team. What else can you say about them? I want to say they try, but they obviously don't. Like they find a way to break you guys' heart every year. Why you're still with that bum, I don't know. But like I said before, it's the bum-ass guy that the Detroit fans love. I don't know why they love him so much, but they are just possibly the worst team ever in the history of professional football. People want to say the Buffalo Bills, but at least the Bills went to 4 straight Super Bowls. Yes, they got beat in each one, but at least they went. So, slightly in a slight pivot, I was watching, I don't know if you all have seen this, the Hip Hop Evolution show that's on Netflix. It's like a docu-series. I think it's like 6 to 4 episodes per season. Season 3 was the one I was watching today, catching up on it, where they were going through the East Coast, West Coast beef and the rise of Atlanta rap. Obviously, Outkast was primarily the main stars of that episode, Outkast and Goody Mob. And then they shoehorned in T.I. towards the end. But it was mainly about, literally 45 minutes about Outkast. And you could tell they were like, oh shit, we should probably mention other Atlanta rappers. And they're like, oh yeah, and T.I. and the rest of them. But it's a really good show. I really suggest checking it out. I bring it up because it actually brought me back to a time of my life. I was raised Christian. So I was raised in the church. My mom was a Sunday school teacher for the first 18 years of my life. So I literally just knew church. And anything that was viewed as worldly, which is worldly, and for those of you who aren't church folk, worldly is anything that's not of God. So basically all fun stuff was off limits completely. So I couldn't watch A Living Color. I couldn't watch Martin. I had to sneak and watch it. What I would do was I would put a tape in the VCR about 7:45, 7:50 when nobody was paying attention, turn to channel 2, press record, turn the TV off, so it was still recorded, so I could watch it at my leisure later on, so I didn't miss it, so I wasn't, more of an outcast in school the next day. So I would sneak and watch it. That's just a quick recap of my wacky youth, my wacky, sheltered, awesome youth. So I wasn't allowed to listen to music growing up, especially not hip hop. But when I was, I want to say I was about 9 or 10. My uncle, I was spending a week over there with them for the summer because my mom had to work and stuff like that. I love my Uncle James. So I was spending the night over there for the whole week. And we're riding around with him all day in his Cadillac listening to music. And he played Brenda's Got a Baby. And I love the song so much I made him replay it till I learned it. And I memorized it, I want to say, within 2 days of being over there. So I'm a lifelong Tupac fan. And so when the West Coast, East Coast beef came along, and this episode reminded me so much of that time period, I think if you weren't alive then, you don't realize how fun and scary hip-hop was at that time. Like, hip-hop wasn't like it is now. It wasn't hip-hop like it is now. It was actually, like, hardcore. If you rapped about some shit, you had to have done it, or you had to have done it. If it was found out you weren't an actual murderer, you were completely blacklisted. Which, when you look at it nowadays, it's like, why would you promote being a murderer? But back then, if you didn't live your raps, you were lame. Like, you were brand out of hip hop back in those days. But during the East Coast West Coast beef, I was obviously a Tupac fan. So when I would go around the corner to my cousin's house, then I could listen to rap music. And because that household was strictly Tupac, the kids obviously strictly Tupac, me and my cousins, we didn't listen to anything else. So if Tupac didn't like you, we didn't listen to you. So for the longest time, I can't believe I'm saying this all out. For the longest time, I considered Nas, Jay-Z, Mobb Deep, anybody who Tupac didn't like and dissed on a track. To me, they were just whack. They were bitches to me. I didn't like them. Like, I hated them. And so when I went to high school and middle school after Tupac had passed, in like 96, after Pac died, I would listen to, like, accidentally, I think I listened to Nas one day on the radio. Because, like, FM 98 used to play pretty mainstream hip-hop all week. But on Saturday mornings, if you were up at like 6 or 7, they would play other rappers outside of the mainstream. So I started getting other rappers. So then I researched Nas. I think I bought his cassette tape. It was written on cassette tape. Wore that tape out. Then I.M. came out. I bought that CD when it came out. And I started getting into hip-hop again. Starting to actually get heavy into hip-hop at that point because I was like 14, 15. But music has always had a big influence on my life. Even though I couldn't listen to 90s R&B at all. Like, that was a huge no-no. Oversexed 90s R&B wasn't going to fly in a Kimberly Denise Jenkins household. So I would listen to, like, what they call it, the standards. So Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Elvis, Barry White, like any Earth, Wind and Fire, Stevie Wonder, Luther Vandross. Michael Jackson was okayed in my house. Stuff like that. Like anything old school hip hop was I mean, not old school hip hop, I apologize. Anything like old school R&B, old school pop, disco, classical I was allowed to listen to. Movie soundtracks, I could listen to those, like Star Wars and stuff like that. So it gave me a wider range of music to listen to outside of just hip-hop. Hip-hop, and I guess like mainstream R&B at the time. Like R. Kelly and stuff like that. Jodeci, I couldn't listen to all that stuff. When I'm around the corner of my cousin's house, I could listen to it. But I couldn't listen to it at home. Or not bump it, rather, to where I can enjoy it. I had to like sneak and listen to it, like, Anne Frank in the attic, sneaking and listening to Jodeci and stuff like that. But a huge music fan. Like, I love music. Like, all type of music, except for country. I can't get into country. I tried, but I can't get into country at all. But, like, I love music. Now, like, if you look at my iTunes, it's literally a who's who of music. I will listen to anything. I just stopped listening to the 13 Reasons Why soundtrack yesterday. It's a great soundtrack. If you haven't heard it, I really suggest checking it out. A lot of newer bands and stuff like that. Some cover songs are on there. But a great soundtrack. So I grew up in the church. And one thing I thought about earlier when I was doing my childhood and reminiscing to myself about my childhood and how great it was and how I was sheltered, but it was still awesome. I remember as a kid, if you wanted to get out of trouble in church, like if you had been bad that whole week, I mean like bad the whole week, like your mom was mad at you or your dad was mad at you, you would claim to have gotten saved, like in Sunday school, so that your parent, like people in the church would be so happy, like, oh, he accepted Christ, all your sins were forgiven. It's a complete POS move, but all your sins will like be forgiven, and you get home and they be like, oh, he accepted Christ today, you guys, and like they're like, yeah, but didn't he just set the carpet on fire like Saturday night? Like, yeah, but oh, God forgave him, so did I, and but you had to use that get out of jail free card sparingly, Otherwise, you were just that kid that accepts Christ every Sunday for the attention, and you didn't want to be that kid because we'd all suck our teeth and look at you like, this motherfucker. Like, there he goes, accepting Christ again. Like, so I remember just stuff like that made me laugh earlier. I thought about that, and I feel like sharing it with you guys. Like, just using Christ to get out of jail, get out of jail free card is the concept of it as an adult seems like a real POS move, but as like an 11, 12-year-old, it was your only way out, so to speak. But that was pretty, that was just a little bit of Aaron J history for you. So while we're on the subject of morality, I would like to pivot slightly. Now we're on the subject of morality. I was posed a question earlier. I'm going to post this on the website, abhinkmedia.com. Once again, it's abhinkmedia.com. It's called a plug. If a bank accidentally puts $120,000 in your account and you spend it all, are you in the wrong? So I guess the better question to tag along to that would be, would you spend it? I would. I would spend a nice portion of it. Would you spend it, or would you automatically let your bank know, hey, you guys put 120 G's in my account by accident. I don't want to get in trouble for this. Would you give it back, or would you just spend it? So I know I would spend it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I would spend a good majority of it before I even considered calling the bank to let them know they screwed up. They would say, "Oh no, Mr. Jiggins, we gave you 120. You're only reporting we gave you 60." Like, y'all know what the fuck happened, you guys. Those damn glitches. But I would definitely spend a nice portion of it. But let me know what you guys think. Like I said, the comments feed in my, obviously gonna be on YouTube, so my comment feed is always open on YouTube. My comment feed is now open on my website on abhinkmedia.com. So I'm gonna pose this question on there. I just thought it was a little fun morality question to throw at you guys. But now that we've got that out the way, let's get to some real shit, shall we? So I was perusing Facebook looking for topics for this podcast because I had nothing at all this morning, aside from the hip-hop show that was really just me thinking about the East Coast, West Coast beef and how great rap was at that time. Excuse me, hold on. I had to wet my pipes for my vocals. It's a Tony Baker reference. So I recently got promoted at work, and what I notice anytime people get promoted or something good starts happening for people where they take a chance and, basically take a chance on themselves and go out for, it doesn't have to necessarily be a promotion. Just anything in life that makes that, in order to better yourself. Quote, reaching for the brass ring was what they called it at my old previous job, where basically the brass ring, for those of you who don't know what that means, is on old school carousels. They would pop out these brass rings. You had to reach for them and grab and hold to them as you're riding the horses around the carousel. A lot of people never take the chance to reach for the proverbial brass ring in life, and so they sit in judgment of others that do. So you will see somebody say, "Oh, you should go do this. Why don't you go do this?" And then when you do it and succeed at it, they somehow are salty at you. Like, how dare you reach for the brass ring, and how dare you think so much of yourself, confidence-wise, that you not only reach for the brass ring, grab the hold of it, and not letting go. So I did that. I did that with my website. Now you can hear with the podcast. I just got a green screen to do more interactive, fun type videos to post on my YouTube page on the website to give it more creativity and more of a diverse feel to it. Just to have some fun, just to have some fun on the website or whatever. Because it's my website, I can do whatever the hell I want to. So I'm going to start doing stuff like that. But people get mad at you, I noticed, when you reach for the brass ring or you try to succeed in life. And because they never had the balls to, they take it out on you. They'll do it either, some will do it flat out. Like, some people will flat out say just the damnedest stuff to you when you do succeed. Like, "Oh, they hired you for that position?" And it's like, well, wait a minute. They didn't hire shit. Like, I fought for it. I interviewed for it and I got it. Or just anything in life, you, not necessarily like job or work related, but anything you try to do in life that's positive or outside of what people perceive you as. Like, I notice when you try to live outside what people cast you in a certain role, and when you try to go outside that role, they're like, no, we like you in this role. They stick with that, and it's like, well, no, I want to better myself. Like the point of being alive and like the point of life is to evolve and experience life, learn, fail, learn from your failures, learn from your success, and better yourself and be a better person and make the world different, make the world a more better place than when you left it. It's supposed to be the goal for life in general. And a lot of people don't want to better themselves, and they don't want to see you do better, because then their insecurities kick in and they're like, oh, you think you're better than me? And it's like, no, I don't. I just try to be better in life than what I try to be better than the Aaron you met yesterday. Like, if you met me yesterday, I want to be better than I was then today. And that's just that's basically how I'm going forward with my life from here on out. Is I want to be a different person, not necessarily fully different, but I want to be an improvement on myself from what I was the day previous. And a lot of people don't want you to do that. A lot of people don't want you to succeed. A lot of people don't want you to do better than what you're doing, because they feel like then that gap is not necessarily a gap. I misspoke. Then the perception of you changes with them, because they want you to be at their level. Like, that's where they feel comfortable at. Okay, you're on my level. We're peers. We're on the same playing field. But when you try to advance or move better, or move on rather, people tend to get real pissy and catty at you. Like, nothing exposes your true enemies or your true non-well-wishers like success. Success breeds so much hatred and envy. It's sad. And it's like, you don't even mean people. I don't necessarily mean people harm at all. Like, I just am trying to be a better person than I was yesterday. But people take that statement as, oh, look at this motherfucker. Look who do you think he is? And it's like, I know I'm Aaron J. I don't think I'm anything. I know who I am. Like, I know I look in the mirror. I have no issue with the reflection I see in the mirror. I know who I am. I know myself. I do several self-evaluations. So those negative people, I would advise, once they expose themselves, like DMX said it best, once you cut the grass and you see the snakes, watch out. Like, take it as a sign. Take it as a sign you need to cut those people out of your life. You need to not mess with those people like that, because their negativity will bring you down. And sadly, it's oftentimes people who claim they love you until you start trying to do better. Once you start trying to do better, you will definitely see who's really in your corner versus who's not. When I got this promotion last week, I got a outpouring of well wishing from Facebook friends, from personal friends I've known from past jobs, friends I still, people, acquaintances, stuff like that, who were extremely happy for me and proud of me. But you will also get people who you'll notice that people who you think would have been extremely happy for you aren't happy for you at all. And it's a type of faux happiness where it's like, oh, congratulations, you did it. And it's like, damn, could you say that any more bitterly? Like, you could be extremely ecstatic when they do anything remotely positive in their life. But if you do anything in yours, it's like, well, you weren't supposed to do that. You weren't supposed to succeed. You were supposed to go out for the job and fail miserably. You were supposed to go out for this and that and the other thing and fail miserably. Like, they want to see you fail. They wish you well, but they definitely want to see you fail, so that they can sit in judgment of you, like, oh, well, you tried and you failed. So you don't, and it's really their own insecurity. People's insecurities start to show really fast when that gap is apparent, when that gap becomes wider and wider and wider. And at that point, you really have to do an evaluation of who's in your life. People who claim they love you, people who claim they wish you the best. You really need to start watching that, because you will see the envy very fast when you start to try to succeed at life. That's just a fair warning to you guys out there. I would definitely do a self-eval of your friends that claim to be your friends, because the second stuff starts going good for you, watch out. But that's my rant about that. I had to get that off my chest. But watch out for those people who don't want to reach for the brass ring. Those people are the ones. Those are the fuckers that's gonna get you. Like, those are the ones that will try to actively take you down to their level with their negativity, their naysaying, their Debbie Downer demeanors, their pissy attitudes. Just, you don't need that in your life. You don't need negativity. That negativity is corrosive. It's something that's very hard to get rid of. It's a bad scene, and I would not want to have any part of it at all. Now, on to a more, I don't want to say pleasant. Well, pleasant to me, because I find this whole topic to be, what topic I'm about to discuss, I find to be really interesting. And it's the male-female relationships nowadays, which I feel is really in a bad spot. I want to blame social media. I think I've talked about this before in another video. I want to blame social media, but I think social media just brought to the forefront how people naturally were anyway. It's just now we can see it. Like now we know that some chick in Wyoming is a piece of shit, versus before when you didn't know what people were like because you were only relegated to people in your region or people that you knew personally. So you didn't know that other people were pieces of shit. So social media has exposed, it's basically just held a mirror up to what we are, and it's a very ugly image that has been reflected back. So my cousin posed a question, my cousin Lawrence posed a question on his Facebook page about if a man, this is basically going to the female question, if a man takes you out on a date, and the date is expensive, relatively expensive, let's say an expensive restaurant, does that mean he likes you more than the man who takes you to a cheaper restaurant? Once I'll let you let that question settle in, and then I'll tell you about what I think. What I think is females especially don't realize how A, full of shit most males are nowadays, and B, how full of shit most females are nowadays. What I mean by that is the average male, especially in the city, especially nowadays, will take you to an expensive restaurant as a means to an end. Like he wants to have sex with you. So he'll take you to the restaurant thinking, okay, if I take her to this nice ass expensive restaurant, I'm guaranteed to get some tonight. Whereas the female is probably thinking he's trying to take me out to a nice restaurant, he wants to get to know me, and this, that, and the third. On the other side, you have females who strictly judge a guy. They base how a guy feels about them off how much money they'll spend on him. By that I mean, if a dude is spending a shit ton of money on him, he's cash apping them lunch money every day, he's taking them, what is an expensive restaurant, you guys? I don't know. Capers. I don't know what expensive, Armando's, I guess, whatever. Benihana's. He's taking you to these expensive restaurants, and it's not that he necessarily likes you like that, it's that he wants some. And most females, unfortunately, most, not all, but most, judge how much a guy spends on them as some type of, like they showed how much they care about him, where that's not it at all. To me, the most valuable thing in the world, and it's not what a guy buys you, it's not what a guy provides for you as far as material things. What it is time. How much time is that guy willing to spend with you to get to know you? Does he treasure the time he spends with you? Does merely being in your presence fill his heart with a undescribable joy? Or basically, do you realize how valuable time is? I guess is the better question. Because time is the most valuable thing. Like if a guy can take you to McDonald's, like a guy can say, I'm going to pick you up and go take you, I'm going to take you to get something, we'll take you to McDonald's real quick. And it's literally just to spend time with you. Like any excuse to spend time with you. And maybe he can't afford it. But the guy that can't afford it now, that doesn't necessarily mean he won't be able to afford a nice restaurant tomorrow. So judging a dude's affection level based off what he's doing for you financially is pretty fucking stupid. Because, like I said, he can just be spending that money on you just to have sex with you. And then once that deal is sealed, he's out of there. Like he's not going to be there past that. He's going to spend as much money as he feels he needs to have sex with you. And then he's out. That's not necessarily, what would I say here? That's not the case all the time, but it's the case, I want to say, about 80% of the time. About 80% of the time, a dude is taking you out to an expensive restaurant as a part of the game, quote unquote. He's trying to basically, show that I want to spend his money on you, girl. And so you give it up to him, and once he gets some, he's out of there. But on the same token, unfortunately for most guys nowadays who are struggling, who probably, got kids of their own, but they still want to take you out and show you a nice time and spend time with you. Maybe they can't afford a fancy restaurant. Maybe they can only afford, I don't know what a cheap restaurant is. Chili's. Maybe he can only afford a cheaper restaurant. Probably a 2 for $20 meal or something like that, or a 4 for $4. But he wants to spend time with you. He likes you, but he just can't afford to take you to those restaurants. So because he can't afford to take you to those restaurants, does that mean he doesn't care about you? I don't think so. And I think a lot of females, unfortunately, base a guy's affection level off how much money he's willing to spend on him. Is he willing to cash app you lunches from restaurants every day? Is he willing to buy you Fashion Nova shit every week? Get your nails done every week. Get your hair done. That doesn't necessarily show that he likes you. What it does is he shows that he's pretty frivolous with his money and that he's willing to pay to get laid. That's all that shows to me. It's the guy who literally texts you for no reason or just wants to see you, just wants to look at you, just wants to be in your presence. And most females nowadays, especially the younger generation, base their whole existence off of what is a guy willing to do for me? Is he going to cash at me something? Is he going to do this for me? Versus how much time is he spending with me? Does he really give a shit about me and what I want to do, my aspirations in life, my dreams in life, my goals? What makes me tick, what makes me happy, what makes me sad, what makes me smile? Like, does he really give a shit? And unfortunately, a lot of females also base their value in life and relationships off of their vagina. They think because they got some good, or this and that, they're willing to do this and that in the bedroom, that all of a sudden that equates to their level of worth in a relationship. And that is extremely sad. Because you're worth more than a vagina. Like, hopefully you are. Some people aren't. Some people, that's all they got to bring to the table and that's it. Because they never chose to invest in themselves, to get to know themselves, to know their own worth. So the only thing they think they're worth is a good time in the sack or, arm candy. And that to me is, pretty messed up. So, I don't think that a guy spending a buku amount of money on you means he likes you like that. A lot of times it just means that's the fastest way to get from point A to point B. And sadly, excuse me. And sadly, people fall for it all the time. He bought me this, he bought me that. That means he loves me. No, it doesn't. All that means is that dude is trying to smash. And that's the quickest way from him to get, he feels that's the quickest way for him to get from point A to point B is by buying some shit. At a certain point, I'll hit that magic number. She'll invite me over, I'll smash, and then it's buy con deals. If that's the way you want to live, to each his own. If that's the way you want to get free meals and Fashion Nova is, excuse me, it's banging the ship supervisor at Ford or Chrysler, have at it, hoss. But, I mean, you're going to end up alone in your 30s or your 40s, sitting around wondering why nobody loved you like that when they got a did love you like that. Probably wasn't the shift supervisor at Ford, probably just a regular lineman, but you want to give him the time of day because he wouldn't cash app you capers. You know what I'm saying? So if you hear me say capers a lot, that's how old and out of touch I am with society, is that I equate what females in the city want as capers. But no, I think a lot of females are extremely lost nowadays. And I want to blame social media, but I can't put it all on social media because a lot of it is self-worth. A lot of females do not have any self-worth. They think their self-worth, pardon my vulgarity, is their pussy. They think that the pussy power is all they got. That's what they bring to the table. That's their big joker. To reference spades, that's their big joker. But that's if that's all you're bringing to the table. Excuse me, that's a bad. You're gonna be in for a rude awakening come 30 when that pussy value decreases down exponentially. Cause vagina age is like bread, not wine. So you can go ahead and date that shift supervisor at Ford and have him cash you out. But the dude that would have loved your stinking drawers and loved you, even loved you when you walk around with that damn bonnet on. You probably dissed him because he couldn't afford the restaurants. But yeah, it's it's a sad, this city girl mentality has to stop, because it's gonna get you. You can get you a couple good dates out of it, and get you some Fashion Nova, and get you some fur sandals and whatnot, and all this other shit. But at the end of the day, once he's done, once he's finished, that's it. He'll go home to his wife or girl or baby mama, and you're gonna be sitting there as the most well-dressed spinster in the city, because your dumb ass sat there and thought that some dude spending $200 on a dinner date with you means he loves you. No, it does not. That just means that dude sees a way to get to where he's trying to get to. He's trying to get to that palace. And if that's what it takes, he has to grease some palms, for the palace guards to get through those defenses. He's gonna do it. That doesn't mean he likes your ass. It just means he wants your ass. And by wants your ass, I mean literal ass, not not you as a whole. But know your worth, ladies. For the love of Christ, know your worth. Bring more to the table besides vagina. Like, if that's all you're bringing to the table, that's a pretty bare table, because you can get that anywhere. That's like, that's you can get that shit anywhere. That is not a rare commodity. It's not like it's a diamond. It's not like it's vibranium. That shit is something you could get. You could post. You could literally get. Vagina is so easy to get nowadays. It's almost sad. Like, I feel bad for this generation of dudes coming up behind me, because it's not. You're gonna end up with a woman probably who has so many vaginal miles on her that it's you'd be sick to your stomach if you knew how many dudes that ran through those walls. But to you, like I said, I'm not judging, but show some type of vaginal restraint, for Christ's sakes. And that's another. While we're on that subject, let's hunker down for that one. While we're on the subject, why would you, just because a guy wants to have sex with you, that doesn't make you a dime all of a sudden. Like, that just means you're desirable and sexy. That doesn't mean you're somehow a queen because a lot of dudes are in your DMs. He saw you half naked on your post and slid in your DMs. He didn't slide in your DMs when you posted the shit about you just read War and Peace. He didn't slide in your DMs when he saw you practicing your viola or your flute skills. Well, he probably was because of your flute skills, but not that flute. Excuse me. He didn't slide in your DMs when you were showing how much of a great single mom you are. He slid in your DMs when you took that bathroom mirror picture that you females take where you look back at your ass like, oh, this ass? I had no idea it was in the frame. That type of shit. Those type of dick bait pics y'all post up. And then are shocked when a guy slides in your DM like, yeah, you put it all out there. He's not after you for you. You basically put your hot and ready sign on, like the Krispy Kreme sign when donuts are fresh. You basically turn that light on. You turn on your red light, Roxanne, and he came for you. But it's really sad. Like, if that's all you got to bring to the table, ditto with dudes. If all you're offering is dick, like, what are you really offering? Like, they can get that anywhere. Like, what do you offer besides that? Like, what do you offer besides maybe 25 minutes of a good time? Are you going to be there when she needs you? Are you going to be there when she, when she can't have sex with you? Are you going to be there when she's down and out? Like, are you going to be her rock and she going to be your rock? That's what you need to look for. Is somebody going to be there when you need them to? Is somebody, not even when you need them to, is somebody going to just automatically know? They're going to know you so well off talking to you and listening to you and vibing with you that they know when you're having a shitty day and they don't want to be there for you. Those are the people you want to date, where they may not be what some people consider to be handsome or pretty by the conventional standard. They may not have it going on, quote unquote, by the conventional standard. But if they're going to be there for you, you better hold that motherfucker tight, because I'm here to tell you, you got a lot of Cash App bums out here and a lot of those swipe up chicks out here, and it's getting worse by the day. While we're on the subject of swipe up, do internet models, quote unquote, I use that term loosely, do internet porn not internet porn stars, that's redundant. Do internet models, we've seen them. Well, I'll call it what it is. We've seen the clickbait where it's like, swipe up to see my nudes. and they're charging $25 a pop. Are they aware that Pornhub, XNX, Xhamster, any litany of porn sites actually exist? Like, why would I pay you, an average looking female, like you're a basic chick? Why would I pay you when I can go see top class, like let's say a Jasmine Cashmere, for free, like in HD 4K? I know what I'm getting, and it's actual porn versus paying to see basically your Snapchat you took earlier, where you show a boob. Like, but in their defense, I guess there must be a market for it because they are popping up everywhere. No pun intended. Because I so many females I know personally, and I'm not throwing shade on them. Do you, sis? But there's so many females I know, and that I see on the interwebs where the swipe up culture. Like, why would you? And this going to the dudes, the pervs that are paying for them. Why would you do that? Like, it's free porn out here. Like, why are you paying for something that's free in the same strength, the same time and effort it took to go to Snapchat, swipe up, input your credit card information, pay for the weak ass pictures, and then look at them or whatever, ogle over them? You then, in all that time, could have went right to Pornhub or XNX and put in literally what you want to find, like whatever your perverted heart's desire. You could put it in the search bar, and it's gonna be on there. Why would you pay for? I don't get that. I don't get that. I don't get for paying for internet porn pictures that you can easily see for free on a porn website. But I think it's the thing of it being porn or pornographic material, so it's the thing of it's naughty, so that's the appeal. But I don't get it. Not your boy. I'm too cheap for that shit. Fuck, beans to that noise. But yeah, we went on a bit of a tangent there for a minute, but I felt like that had to be said. I don't understand the swipe up culture. I don't get it. Who pays for porn? The shit is free. That's like paying for music. The shit is preposterous to me. But yeah, paying for music. Oof, that is something I do not miss. You kids nowadays. I know I sound like an old man, but you kids nowadays do not realize how fucking good you had it or have it. When I was coming up, I want to say, when did downloading become really popular? When I was about 17, about 2001? About 2001, when MP3s and stuff like that were really starting to bubble, and Napster and stuff like that was out, and people were starting to, when the ability to burn a CD became mainstream, that's when music started to get, because at first, like you all that don't know, when I was coming up, if you wanted to buy an album, you were paying. I once paid $30 for Tupac's Greatest Hits, and that came out about 97, 90. I remember for Christmas that year, I went out and took my Christmas money and bought it. I paid $30 for that the two double disc, $30. CDs were going for $20, like they were the price of a Blu-ray. $20 for a CD. Let that sink in. $20 for something we get for free now on iTunes, or YouTube, or any other music source, or streaming service. $20. Can you believe that? $20 goddamn dollars. And they were making money hand over fist. But MP3s, what they did to the music industry was what Netflix did to movies and Blockbuster. They just crushed it. I mean, I do not miss going to a CD store like Sam Goody or Best Buy. Back in my day, we would go to, what was the name of that damn place? Now, I want to say Electronic Boutique, but that was GameStop before it changed over to GameStop. Circuit City. Circuit City was the best place to buy CDs when I was coming up. You would go to Circuit City with $50 and come out of there with 3 CDs and, the Friday trilogy with all 3 Friday movies. But, yeah, I don't miss buying CDs. I don't miss that shit at all. I do not miss paying for music. I don't miss paying for movies. I really do not miss cable. Like, I haven't had cable in maybe, I want to say 6 years. And I don't miss it at all. Everything I want to see either comes on Hulu or any other litany of the streaming services that have popped up. So I don't miss anything. And even the shows that people rant and rave about more than likely have a streaming service. So like Stars, HBO, stuff like that. So I don't miss old school technology at all. Like people complain about modern technology and how it's making us more distant, but it's some parts of modern technology that is just amazing, and streaming is one of them. The idea of paying for cable anymore is... I got my aunt to stop. I got my aunt to get her cable bill down from... She was paying $145 a month, and I got her down to paying about $60, because I told her how many channels she had that were completely useless, and she just basically needs internet. Like, all I have is internet service, and I get everything. I don't miss a beat as far as entertainment goes. Because let's be honest, we don't really watch network shows like that, and if you do, it's something you could catch on Hulu. We don't watch... sporting events you watch live, but like most sports organizations have a streaming service. Like MLB has one, NBA has one, NFL has one, to where you don't even need to watch that. You'll watch it for the nostalgic purpose of watching it on TV. But like I watch the Super Bowl on TV because I have to. I think last year I watched it on YouTube. Because they were offering, YouTube Premium was offering the NBA Finals and the Super Bowl. So I watched it on there. But like I don't even watch TV anymore. I mean, like if it's an SNL episode I have to see, I get out the old HD antenna and plug it in and watch it that way. But as far as paying for cable, I would never pay for cable again. It's no point of it. Financially, you would come out spending $70 to $80 less a month on your cable bill if you just got 3 to 4 streaming services. And come next month, really all you're gonna need is Netflix, Disney Plus, which comes bundled with Hulu Plus and ESPN Plus, Hulu, maybe Amazon if you want to be extra, and HBO doesn't have not Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones anymore, so really no point in getting that. So if you can still got cable, more power to you, but that is a dying format. Cable and broadcast television, and almost radio, to be honest with you. But I do not miss... I don't miss going to buy CDs, and I definitely don't miss old school technology. I really do not miss having to record shit on VCR, having to hunt shit down. And I remember back when I was younger, we would have to hunt down videos, like music videos. Like if you want to hear your favorite songs, and it wasn't being played on the radio, you would have to hunt the video down on like Midnight Love on BET or some shit like that, or hopefully MTV was playing videos that day, and you would catch it that way. And you had to like hurry up and record it. Like you would have to know how the video was going to start, or most video shows had a countdown format, so you pretty much knew where that video was going to fall on the countdown, so it's just a matter of catching it to tape it. But I still got what I call videotapes. So I got like a countless amount of VHS with videos on there. They look grainy as shit by today's standards, but on occasion I go back and plug in the VCR and watch them. But that's really it, you guys. I just want a huge tangent about technology, but I don't miss it at all. So like I said, shout out to Presently Gifted. Presently Gifted is, of course, a cupcake / cake / delicious company, founded and ran by my friend Latoya Atterbury. You can check her page out, presently_gifted on Instagram. You can also check out several links and photographs of her products and wares on the website, which is abhinkmedia.com, ABHINC media.com. You can also check us out on the Instagram, which is AB_HINC media.com. We're also on Facebook, and that's just Ab Media on Facebook. And on the YouTube, you can check out the podcast and several other videos at aboogie83. But once again, like I said, everything is on our website, abhinkmedia.com. We have different topics on there to talk about. Q&A is on there. It's pretty much updated with new content daily, or at least I try to do it daily or bi-daily, just to keep fresh content out there, fresh thoughts, fresh topics. But like I said, just like today, people hit me up and gave me a little different stuff that they wanted to hear me talk about or questions they had. So feel free to hit me up on any of those on my website, Facebook page. I'm sorry it's late. My brain is starting to turn off. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, _Aaron J. And that actually is the title of the podcast, The Aaron J Show. So check me out on Twitter. Check us out on Instagram. Like I said, adpinkmedia.com. That's where you can see all of it at. Different Q&As, different ideas we got coming up. Like I said, I did purchase a green screen last week. A green screen last week. So you're going to see a lot more original content up. You're going to see more actual like video countdown shows. I'm trying to get a wrestling show put together, so I got to find a co-host for that. I want to get pop culture show put together. We talk about pop culture issues and social issues and stuff like that. Just some real creative shit. So, like I said, let me know what you think. Hit me up. And God bless.
Oh, baby, you are so talented. And they are so dumb.